Ladies and gentlemen, it's Team No Sleep. It is a day late, but it's all good. We here. We still here. And listen, look at us. We color coordinated. We got the merch on. Look at the man over there with the hat on. Come on, Montel. Talk to somebody about that.
Hey man, we got to look smooth, man. We
Man,
stepping up the
I
game. That's all.
yes,
That's
sir. I'm
all. We
not mad about
stepping up our
that.
game for 2024.
God, though, embroidered hats, Team No Sleep. Y'all better get these hats. You see how we rocking. So there go the link right there. Use the promo code to get was it 10-15%, something like that. But
Yeah.
represent and support the family here. How you doing, man? Let's go and start right there. What get the formalities out of the way. How you doing tonight?
Oh man, blessed
Yeah.
as usual. Cannot complain. God, family, and friends. That's it. That's how we roll right there. So, and in that order. So, just blessed. Definitely blessed.
I'm with you, man. I will say the exact same. Had got both positive and negative things, good and bad things happening on this side of the fence. Most of the family is doing well. Has some extended family having some health issues, so praying for them. My
Mm-hmm.
young guy up in Oregon has been snowed in for 10 days. He has had a 10-day weekend. He can't even go to class. He want to go to class, but he can't
Want to
even
go to
go to
class, but
class.
can't make it. Can't make it
Right.
yet.
Corvallis is not built for the snow. They built for the rain. So we're praying that he gets some mobility and gets to get out and do those things that he needs to do soon.
Yeah, that's that mental health and that builds character. That's all. He's strong. He's a strong warrior, so he's
Oh,
gonna get
yeah.
through that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think also in these in these times and age and with this extraordinary weather, we got to definitely look out for loved ones that are out there, make sure they're safe and sound, and they're able to get to the things they need to get to and keep accomplishing the goals they need to go. Their everyday life. But I know that storm is impacting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially in the Midwest and on the East Coast. I mean, we on the West Coast, we're just not used to it. So,
Exactly.
if it's
Exactly.
extreme, it doesn't have to be extreme. We just ain't used to seeing snow everywhere. So that's a different game for us.
That's the
But
problem right there. Snow
yeah.
flurries,
But
and
those
then we
people in
don't
the
know how to act,
Midwest,
don't know how to drive.
those people in the Midwest, they're getting hit really, really hard. So prayers go out to them. Make sure everybody's safe out there. We good to go, and Team Sleep got y'all on your got y'all in our prayers.
Yes,
Make sure
sir.
y'all
Yes,
safe.
sir. And folks, I think we started with that because Martell and I were talking before the show started. So much is going on, and we need to be cognizant of it. We need to not take anything for granted because just a couple of days ago, I'm gonna put this on the screen here as well, right? A lot of us here in Northern California, we're fans of the Golden State Warriors, and for one of their 46-year-old assistant coaches. If you guys don't know the story, for one of their 46-year-old assistant coaches to be out at a dinner with the team because they were traveling to Dallas, they were there, they were
Utah.
having
It was actually
Utah. I'm sorry, Utah.
Mhm.
But the man to be sitting down at dinner, mess around and have a heart attack. I saw the news flash come across my phone and it said, severe or serious health situation. Didn't know exactly what it was, but literally 10 hours after we got the news flash, find out that this young man, 46-year-old coach, passed away from a heart attack while sitting there having dinner with his team and colleagues. 46 years old. My goodness. What are your thoughts when you saw this story, man? Because I know you probably got the notification, same thing as well, man. But just when you thought about this,
I'm on speechless at the point, right? Like almost, I don't know the man, and and to be honest, I've never really heard of him. I just know he's a coach on the set. Seen him on the TV a couple of times now that I saw his face. But speechless, man, just for that to happen in almost in real time in front of us in our world,
yeah,
in the sports world. A lot of compassion for him, for his family. I know he has 2 kids and a wife. And I read a little bit on his story today. He comes from overseas, same place where Joker comes from,
yeah,
I believe. He played pro ball over there, and he's worked his way up the ladder of coaching to get the opportunity to be with the Warriors. And I believe this is his 2nd or 3rd year being with them, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, how fast when you're with the team environment, how fast you build relationships, right? He's obviously has a relationship with the players, other coaches, their families, and everything. And for them as a team to be there and see that, he has a heart attack, and then for 10 hours later he doesn't make it. It's just it's not a good situation. And my prayers slowly go out to his family for strength in his times, because at this point, I know us as common folks, we all stress about money, bills, day-to-day living. This is a person that was successful, and money doesn't mean anything without your health. It really doesn't. If you don't
Yeah.
have your health, it doesn't mean anything. So, unfortunately, I mean, I don't know what caused his heart attack or whatnot, but my prayers go out to his family, and there's no words, right? It's a person that seems like he was on top of the world, and then a situation like this happens to his family. It's just devastating.
Yeah. So this is a story, unfortunately, that we have to lead off with today. But there's another similar, unfortunately, again, kind of a trajectory here. But we want to have a message about this. So we talked about this one. My Sacramento Kings fans, my folks who live here in Northern California, y'all know Scott Pollard, or y'all remember Scott Pollard out there doing his thing, right? He was a big man. He was a bad dude out there. Scott Pollard is currently in the hospital in need of a heart transplant. Scott
Yes.
Pollard, right, the center for the Sacramento Kings, that was part of that whole just out there almost beating the Lakers, cowbells ringing, right? I mean,
yeah.
with Weber and with Jason Williams, with all of them out there doing the thing, and what really got a lot of us really involved and really excited about the Kings. And again, here's another young man. Unfortunately, this seems to be hereditary because his father passed away from a similar issue where he did not get a heart transplant in time. But you don't expect to see, the gentle giant Scott Pollard, the guy, you don't expect to see him in a picture like this. So, man, again, our prayers go out to folks that are going through the situation. And this is really, I think, a wake-up call for folks to make sure you take care of yourself, right? Yeah. If something's not right, something feels a little bit different. If you got some issues, man, make sure you don't take stuff for granted. Because do not want to see young people, anybody really, but especially 46-year-olds, 45-year-olds like Scott in these types of situations, dealing with these types of maladies, man. So this is just not a great way to start the show. But again, we come with social impact, and we want to tell y'all the truth of what's really going on. We're not just talking about sports scores, but we talking about what's really going on. So your thoughts when I told you about this, man, because you didn't know about this.
No, I didn't know until you brought this to my attention, man. And again, it's crazy because to see former great athletes, and then now they're in this situation where their health is very compromised. And one just happened accidentally that we didn't know about, and then this one is it's hereditary, and he's trying to deal with it and figure it out. It's just it puts a sad and damper over sports in general, and the NBA especially, because it's both happening under the NBA umbrella. It's just unfortunate, man, and all we can do is pray, right? I mean, it's funny, like donating money, that doesn't do anything because it's not going to bring anybody back. And Scott Pollard needs probably the most important organ that's in our body, which is our heart, next to our brain. And that's a hard thing to get donated to you, right? Like to get a heart, it has to become somebody that's passed away that has a healthy heart that matches his in order for him to get a donation. So the fact that, unfortunately his body's deteriorating or whatever it's going through, it's not good. And, it's just sad. It's very, very sad, but it's also real life, right? It's real life that we have to deal with and people have to deal with. And some of us have to deal with those types of things in our own family. I think just the power of prayer is the only thing that can get you through, and hopefully you can pray for strength and build that strength to be able to deal with the situations where hopefully they go in the positive way, but if they go in the negative way, you got to be strong enough to be able to your family to get through those trying times. So prayers go out to Scott Pollard too as well and his family.
Man, so he lost his father at the age of 54. He was actually his father was driving. I'll put the link to the story in the description so folks can read about this. But again, if there's any moral to this, if there's any story to this, make sure you take care of yourself. So, Victor, we see you, brother. Appreciate you for joining MDH. See you in the building. Hope you are traveling safe, and hopefully you are doing well as well. All right, we got those two stories out of the way, and man, I should be drinking something because I need to. I get vested in these stories, right?
We need, man.
I'm just drinking coffee.
Count our blessings. Yeah, I think we're talking about before. You just got to count your blessings.
Yeah.
Be thankful for what you have and the time you have on this earth. Be thankful for the family that you have near you, your close friends that you have near you, and the things you've been able to accomplish. Be thankful for those things and thank God every day, every moment. You know, thank Him for what He's provided to us, because as we can see, even the ones with money and not, it can be taken away from you in an instant, and change everything. So I think I do believe in the power of prayer. I do believe there's something out there that's more of a powerful being than us that can help us get through these trying times, or at least provide us clarity, whatever how you want to do it, but it provides us clarity. And I just think that people need to just be aware, man. Just be, take care of yourself. Be thankful for what you have, and count your blessings every day, because they can be gone in 1 second. And I think if you do those things every day of your life, you'll be perfectly fine.
Makes sense. Now, you say you believe and you look for clarity.
Yes.
I'm gonna set you up here now. You may know where I'm going, but I'm trying to get some clarity, right? Because we have had a conversation about a particular story for a few weeks, and there has now been a judgment. There has now been a decision as it relates to Oklahoma City Thunder, Josh Giddey. I would like to have some clarity in terms of why this young man, who admitted to having a relationship with a underage girl, who was filmed, videotaped, photographed with the underage girl, again admitted to having this, all the things, right? There was no denying it. There was no neglecting it. There was no none of that. Why is it that the Newport Beach, California police have decided they will not pursue any charges against this young man, and he is essentially free and clear to go about his day-to-day life, when somebody else, we don't have to name names, but somebody else, almost anybody else, if it was you or me, I'm not going to name names, but again, if it was someone that looked like you or me, it would be a very different conversation and a very different situation. I need clarity as to why this man is still walking around free without jail time, without any ramifications or repercussions.
Come on. You don't want to name names. I will name names. I'm gonna say names. I don't understand the situation. Granted, I know the young lady didn't press charges. I know the family didn't press charges against him. It was just an investigation going on, and they decided to drop charges. Get it? Okay. Whether you like it or not, the same situation happened to R. Kelly. Hey. Same exact situation. He was having relationships with an underage girl. Their family wasn't pressing charges. And then all of a sudden, he's going to jail for how many counts, and even charged with saying they said he was child trafficking, and all these different charges was happening with him. But yet, this man is off. And I don't care if you slept with one or you slept with 15 underage women. The fact of the matter, you sleep with underage is supposed to be against the law. Why is Josh Giddey able to get off in this situation? I'm not understanding why the police would drop the charges. We have other African American entertainers that are under investigation right now about they had sexual relations with somebody younger 20 years ago, and they still get ready to get brought up on charges. How is this person who admitted to having a relationship with an underage girl, nothing there? Somebody please explain to me. Explain to me why is that happening, because I can't think but think that men of color are targeted and be convicted when these situations happen. Now, don't get me wrong. We know the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs who died in jail. The guy with the island, whatever his name was, I forgot his name. Epstein, right?
Oh yeah.
Epstein. He was doing it, and we knew he was going to be
cuckoo for
taken
Cocoa
down.
Puffs.
yeah, cuckoo. The dude was crazy, but he was being taken down, but he killed, so we never got to see charges brought up on him. With these series of situations happening, especially to high-profile people and people in the political world and entertainment world, how are they not able to get off doing the same thing what this guy did? And I don't want Josh Gotti. I don't want him to go to jail. I'm not wishing for him to go to jail. I'm just saying the law is not applying the same way across the board.
There should be some additional action. And I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm concerned about Commissioner Silver on this, because normally he's out there and he's real aggressive in terms of making sure that especially legal situations are dealt with. But NBA Commissioner Adam Silver did state back in December that the league office would take a backseat to the Newport Beach police process.
Why?
See,
You don't take a
there's
backseat to any
some
other
we don't
issue.
know.
You don't take a backseat to any other issue
Yeah.
that goes on with the NBA. Yeah, I mean, remember they blasphemy Kyrie and suspending him for games and did all that just because he made a comment on a movie that offended people of the Jewish religion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're not gonna punish a person that admittedly was with an underage woman. Something don't add up, man. Something don't add up, and it's not adding up right. And like again, I can do nothing but see the only difference right now to me from what I know is the race. Different skin tone, different kind of last name, gets charged or others don't. And the only one I can say that's been white has been Epstein, but that was a whole different political move thing that we know that a whole bunch of things are going on. But I'm saying it should be across the board. If you're sleeping with an underage girl, that's a crime and you should be charged or punished in some form or fashion. Why is it okay for Josh Giddey to get off and these other ones didn't? So
he's being charged. He's being charged in the court of public opinion, right? He gets booed every time he jumps out there on the court,
but that's not criminal. I'm sure R. Kelly would love to be booed on stage. I'm sure right now he would love to go on stage and be booed every time he walks on stage or whatnot. That he has an opportunity to go out there and still go play basketball. He still has an opportunity to earn a living. He still has an opportunity to do all these things when he admittedly did something wrong. He admittedly did it. And again, I'm not saying judge nor jury. I'm saying the law should apply across the board to everybody that's done something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, and like I said, I don't want Josh Giddey to go to jail. Hopefully, I don't know personally, but I don't want anyone to go to jail. But how are you going to convict these other guys for doing it, but you're not going to convict him? How are you going to make these daily accusations for some people to do it, which criminal charges are going to be brought up, but yet criminal charges are dropped for him? I want to know what the difference is. I need some clarity. That's all I'm asking, and I hope our fans can provide some clarity what's going on. I hope they can tell us what's going on. And again, I see the obvious. I see the racial component. That's what I'm seeing. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's what I'm seeing. And that needs to be addressed. I mean,
that's all we can assume. And I typically don't like to assume, but again, we don't have any other information. I like what you're saying, but I really like what Victor's saying too, right? It's who you are or who you know should not matter. Cuff them and stuff. Yes. Cuff them and stuff. There's got to be some more to this story. I don't think anyone else is really digging deep into the story, trying to get some answers. Maybe we're digging deep into it because we're fathers of daughters. I mean, I'm right, and just that thing. And I don't mind if that's what sets us apart from this, but there's got to be some clarity, and there's got to be an answer and a rationale behind this. Why were no charges dropped? I wonder what the parents of the young lady.
But we know that shouldn't matter, though. It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. But again, I wonder what the parents of the young lady are saying and feeling about this ruling or non-ruling right now.
You want my opinion? My opinion of the situation?
I do.
Parents are like, please be in a relationship with him because he's got millions and millions of dollars and my daughter's going to be taken care of for the rest of her life. That's my opinion. That's what I think he's saying because they allowed the relationship to go on, right? They knew I'm quite sure they knew he was older at some point than her, a lot older than her, and she was dating him. They weren't just together and hooked up. They were dating. They were an actual couple. So with that being said, parents must have known something about it, or I'm sure had some ideas. So I think they approved of the relationship, especially when he hit the jackpot and made it to the NBA.
Yeah.
Hey, we ain't got no problem with it. It's all good. It's all good.
Daddy asking Josh for some free tickets to the game. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. I hear you.
It's all good. So I'm saying, why is the law different? Because for me and you, what we both know before those, at least what we saw, what we know about the R. Kelly situation, no parent was charging him with any crime. Not one.
Yes, true.
The investigation found out that he had something, and then all the allegations came out, that he's doing these things. But none of the parents and none of the supposed victims were charging him. The state charged him. So what is the difference? I want someone to please explain to me what the difference is. I don't, because I don't know. I really don't know. And it's kind of
there's some files, there's some manila folders that are hidden somewhere outside of our purview, and dollars and cents have exchanged hands some kind of how, some kind of way. And I think that's a disservice. I get a disservice to both of them. I really do. I think it's a disservice to both of the people that's involved, the young lady and to Josh Giddey for going through this. Yeah, he's only 21 right now, but she was in age makes a difference. And again, I think I'm just coming at it particularly. I can just talk for myself. I'm coming at it a little different because I'm a father of a daughter. So I'm like, listen, hey man, you too old for my daughter, man. You this can't happen right now, right? This can't happen. So
well, anytime, but again, anytime we've seen special with sports figures and they have this kind of situation. We dealt with it at San Diego State where the young man damn near lost his career. The kicker. Remember we talked about him. I can't think of his name right now. But he allegedly had a sexual encounter with an underage girl at a party. From that accusation alone.
Yeah, the San Diego dude. That's right, the San Diego dude. Yeah.
That accusation alone, he not only did he get cut, he lost millions of dollars, and he had to face all that scrutiny for years to find out the girl that they found out that it wasn't him. He wasn't involved with that situation. Just the accusation alone, just alone, not that he did anything. Just the accusation that he did it cost him all that stuff. Josh Giddey admitted it. Yeah, that was my girl. We've been together. We had relationships together. But yet there's nothing. So since he admitted and said to say okay that he gets to walk off free from Newport Beach, he gets away with it. I'm not understanding. And those are both in situations in California. So let's not even go R. Kelly, Chicago, across the nation. Those are stick in California. Those are two incidences right there. One got persecuted and lost everything in that standpoint from just from the accusation that he might have slept with her. This one admitted that he had a relationship with her and nothing's happened. So I need some clarity. I really, please, our fans, please give us some clarity what's going on. Why is the situation different than the other one? Because I don't know. I can't call it. And I think it sets a bad precedent for anybody, for any situation.
Yeah.
Because the next person that does it, how come they won't be able to get off? Josh Giddey got off. How come I can't get off? So I'm confused. And it's different. It's just I want to understand this should be in black and white. It shouldn't be there's not too much of a gray area. You had sex with an underage person. Okay. Now, jail time might not be the answer. That might not be what he's supposed to do, but there needs to be some charges brought up on him. Maybe he has to register as a sex offender, or I don't know whatever happens.
It's some form of punishment, right? Or some form besides just a slap in the hand, and like
not even like he didn't get a slap in the head.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say even like Victor was saying, right? Even if they don't press charges, the state could at least charge him. So I mean, somebody still, but this one in particular seems like it's done. Right, they just closed the book. They're letting them suit up and get back out there on the court, and there's nothing else about it. We gonna continue to press this. We gonna get this like. I
just want the answer.
I just want the answer. Yeah, we gonna find out.
Tell me why. Like, tell me why. I want to understand why. Why is there a loophole for him and not a loophole for others?
Victor saying he says I'm Hispanic. It is common for Hispanic women to start having kids underage. I saw this growing up. Still, I would charge them all. So, I mean, that brings up a cultural aspect, right? Again, so it's...
But cultural, religion, normal. All that. But all that above, the law says you're not supposed to sleep with an underage girl.
Yeah.
But especially when you're at that age. Now, don't get me wrong, when it's 18 and 16, and they're both in high school, that might be a little bit of gray area, right? Because they're still in high school. He's a senior, maybe she's a sophomore. But they're still in the same environment right there. That might be that gray area, right? Where you say, she's consensual at that point. He's still in school. They're still in high school together. Maybe. But he was already in college doing his thing when he met this person. And it's carried all the way over to when he's gotten to the pros. So he's been having a relationship with her for a while. And again, I'm not advocating jail. I'm not advocating say jail. But I am advocating he shouldn't just get off with like, hey, we just drop the charges and we just move past this. That's not the answer either, because we've seen other people been charged. They've been convicted. They're doing jail time. Look, they've lost millions of dollars. They lost their dream job where they were going to be working in the Bell. We've seen these things happen already to other people. Why is Josh Giddey the exception to the rule?
Yeah,
that's my answer. Why the exception to the rule?
Yeah, and that's why, folks, we're taking so much of this to heart, right? Because we've seen so much disparity, right? We've seen so many folks get either books thrown at them, keys thrown away, locked up and put underneath whatever the case may be, and for this to just be, hey, Josh, don't do it again. That kind of thing, man. This is just tough to look at, tough to swallow. So we gonna keep following. There's a handful of stories that we're continuing to follow that are still pending, and we gonna find out what's going on with this right here. Listen, I see we got folks watching on Twitter. You can leave comments now, so you don't have to come back and come over to YouTube or whatever. Listen, we have the technology. You can actually be on Twitter and you can leave some comments there as well. So engage, interact. I know we talked about.
I think you're gonna put a poll. Aren't you gonna do a poll? You're gonna do a poll, right? On the
I'm gonna do a poll later because again, you had me multitasking, and I can't multitask. I can't do too many things at one time, or I'll just fall over and pass out.
No,
I can only do a couple of things at one time.
For our people to listen, I just want some clarity, man. I just really I would love to have you guys' opinion of our fan base, and then two, please shed some light on why he's an exception to the rule of sleeping with someone underage and not having any criminal charges brought up on him. That's pretty much it.
All right. So we talk basketball. Man, good Lord, I normally don't have dessert with dinner, but when we get done, I'm gonna have. My wife brought home some ice cream. I'm gonna have some dessert.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, brother.
What else are you watching from a sports social impacting perspective? And I'm gonna put this question out to you, but anyone listening right now as well, chime in and interject. We got two more stories that we're going to go into. They're going to take a little bit of time to talk about them, but we'd love to still have some engagement from folks that are in the comments. Politics and money. Wait a minute. No, we're not going to get into politics. Register to vote. I tell you, here's the politics thing. Register to vote, folks, because it's about to be that time, and it's going to get interesting again. So make sure you register, and then make sure you go out there and pull the lever. Do the thing that you need to do. I don't care what side of the aisle you are on. Red, blue, green.
Especially in your states.
Yeah.
The presidential thing is cool, but those state representatives, you have to vote. You have to vote on them. You have to know who they are and which person you want to help fight your battles. Vote for those state legislators. That's the main vote that we need.
Got to do that.
Those are the people that vote in those senates and in those congresses that are in order to make change. So if I can encourage you to do anything, do that, please.
Yeah, it's a perfect segue to our next story here, man, because some things are on the ballot. Mm-hmm. Things are on the ballot. Gavin Newsom, governor for California. Sometimes he does things that make me, scratch my head. A lot of times he does things that make me scratch my head. But he is the Democratic governor right now for California. And I'm going to let you tell the story, and then I'm going to ad-lib. But y'all can see the headline right there. Gavin Newsom chooses parental freedom over banning youth football. That's a catchy title right there, right? That's going to bring some attention. And that's very close, near and dear to our hearts, especially to Montel. So I'll let you give the 35,000-foot view of what this story is, and I'll go through it.
Absolutely. So what happened is there was a bill to ban youth football for 12 and under, not allow kids to play tackle football. And the premise is all based on that because of injuries or trauma injuries or whatnot that happened. Good. The bill went all the way up. It got approved and it went to the next level. And then now Gavin Newsom went through it and vetoed it based on all the petitions and everything going on to save California youth football, which is a great thing. I don't think people realize the impact if that would have went away, what can happen, because now you have a certain age group or age demographic that's going to be disproportionate without any after-school activity. You already know within schools they've already cut most after-school programs and whatnot. And I think if you would have took football away, which is definitely prevalent in the urban community, you would have took away from an area where they learn how to be disciplined and they learn discipline. You would have took away some of these young people's avenue to not become obese. You would have took away their way to exercise because they don't get enough exercise in school. You would have taken away their one stronghold that keeps them on the straight and narrow as far as grades is concerned. You teach them teamwork and leadership and all those things. You would have took away that mechanism from thousands and thousands of kids, and definitely in the urban areas, you'd have taken it away from hundreds of thousands of kids that would have been really, really tremendously affected. And also parents would have been affected because they depend on that. They depend on youth fall to instill certain things in their kids and to provide them an activity to play, be competitive, and learn all the things that we normally learn. And for them to base this on just, hey, injury, I think that if you're gonna ban something from 12 and under, and you're gonna base it on injury trauma, you better base it. You better look at every youth sport there is, because skateboarding is the number one that causes injuries to youth, trauma as well as broken bones.
I'm surprised
you
it's not
go
soccer.
With soccer.
I was gonna say I'm surprised it's not soccer. Yeah,
soccer right there with concussions and all those things. You got youth rugby going on. You got field hockey. You got lacrosse. You got ice hockey. All those sports have injuries in them. All of them. Every last for you. So, but you're singling out football, and the voters that voted it on, and the person that brought this bill and wasted our taxpayer money at the state level for anything of this, it should be ashamed of itself, because how are you going to deprive little kids from playing? And the fact of the matter, there's no other sport on the bill. What happened to wrestling? All these other sports that go along with youth. Why are you allowing those to happen? And you want to take away this? There's actually youth that are training for MMA.
Wow.
How you don't take away that?
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Well, we got youth training for boxing, right? We know there's youth boxing because we have amateur boxing. But yet you're not banning boxing, And I again, you're taking away that kind of sport and that mechanism, or you were attempting to take away that mechanism from the kids that really, really need it. And where it affects them the most, what it would have been in urban neighborhoods. Urban neighborhoods where they depend on this to be able to do. Like Oakland has their big league. Like Sacramento and Grand area has their big league. Here in San Diego, we have Pop Warner, we have youth football. We have a wealth of these young people that participate, and parents depend on these things to be able to happen. And for some idiot, whoever made this bill up, to take that away from them, to take away from these kids, for whatever reason, they try to claim there's health issues or health reasons. It baffles me. It just baffles me. Why would you do something like that?
Yeah, I think the conversation is bigger than football for some of the reasons that you meant. A lot of the reasons that you mentioned, right? Again, especially when you're looking at disparate neighborhoods, when you look at Black and brown communities, when you look at lower income communities, there's not a lot else to do out there. No. And football, when you there's more pros and cons. I mean, the teamwork aspect, the community aspect, the extended family aspect, the discipline. There's more pros and cons. And again, I've seen more injuries, head injuries, and I've just seen more bones busted from soccer at the young age than I have at kids playing football. It just from my experience, from what I've seen. Right. So again, I mean, and then we got lacrosse. We got all these fancy sports out here. Shouts out to the folks playing lacrosse too. But you know what's
funny though? Those fancy sports, they don't play them in urban neighborhoods. They don't have.
That's where I was going.
The means to do those things. The means we have to do where we play the main three, and we play soccer heavily in the Hispanic community, right? That's really heavy in the Hispanic community in some of ours. But in the urban communities, like south side of Sacramento, Pop Warner and youth football and basketball are the two main sports we play. Baseball has even been kind of almost exiled out of that equation because we don't play baseball that much, and there's a big dip in that as far as youth is concerned. So football and basketball are the two main sports. Basketball can only hold 5 guys on the court at a time and only maximize a team of 15. Football is a place that you can maximize 40 to 50 kids on there and get them in there to have their exercise, training every day, exercising their mind, doing the things that they need to do. And like you said, teaching all those intangibles from a young age growing up, how to be respectful, how to be a leader, how to communicate, how to be teamwork. All those things come in play. How to stop obesity, or at least maintain or sustain obesity for that, because you're working out and you're exercising every day. And at the end of the day, you get to learn how to be competitive, which we know in this world you have to be competitive at some point in your life, whether you're in the job world or whatnot. It gives you that competitive edge, how to learn how to do it, and teaches you how to lose. Learn how to lose, because when you fail, and how to overcome that and achieve that. It teaches you so many different things. And for some guy to want to kind of draw this bill out to take it away and take away parental rights to let kids play this is just crazy. I don't need. What do you have the
I think it
time
was
to
just
think of
I think it
something
was
like this?
drawn up by folks whose kid didn't make this team. That's
I
probably
agree.
what
I was going to say that, but I agree with you 100%.
I think that's what it was. So
Yes.
I don't know. That's what it was to me.
I mean, but I'm glad Newsom made, like you said, Newsom finally did something right on this one by vetoing it, you know, and letting youth continue to kind of go forward with their progress and playing football and doing those things. And man, like you said, there's more pros than cons that ever happened in the sport. Period. And at that age, I don't even remember at 12 years old, no one getting a head injury. I played when I was young. I don't remember nobody. There might have
Yeah,
been a broken wrist or a broken bone, but I don't remember nobody having a concussion or anything like that. And the way they're teaching kids to tackle nowadays, you can't even hit helmet to helmet anymore. So where's the head trauma? I mean, yeah, you're gonna have incidents where it happened, but it doesn't happen hardly at all because the game is not taught that way. So it's kind of confusing and just misguided why you want to cancel that, like I said, because it will affect more people in urban and lower development communities than it will affect anybody else.
that's true. And
And it would be
that's the
detrimental.
perspective, right? I think that's
Yes.
the perspective that whoever drew this bill up. I'm gonna be a glass half full kind of guy right now. I don't think they thought of it from that side. I honestly think, and again,
I disagree with you. I disagree. I think they did think of it that side. And you know why? And you know why I say that? Because in those type of communities, they don't care. They don't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
So to take away something from a kid from that age range and go, where is he leading? If he has no activity, by the time he's 12 years old, the only activity, if he can start playing when he's maybe possibly 13, 14, there's probably disinterest there. And you got to think, what is the element that is available to those kids at that time? If it's not sports. Let's be honest. If there's no sports for a lot of those kids from single moms and in those urban neighborhoods and those urban areas, what is the only element they get attracted to? Because there's no more after school care. There's no more band. There's no more things that go on like that. What element are they going to be attracted to?
Yeah.
Criminal activity. And then with criminal activity, that leads to keeping these jails populated and everything going in that same cycle that we've been trying to break in our communities for years. So I think it is diabolical. Yes, let's take it away. We'll take it away because of this and this and that, because it keeps that cycle going and it's not broken. At least with football, they have an avenue to kind of hopefully continue and stay on the straight and narrow. It gives us another option out of those environments. And they're talking about taking that away. So I'm not going to believe that somebody's just like, they didn't think about that. They didn't think that's. I think they thought of every aspect and figured out, hey, this is the way we can take it away from them. Because I think they've already done it from the older level, right? You take away football out of lower level schools at the collegiate level, which is the main attraction to get some of these young men of color in the colleges. You've already burned that. You took it away. You're going to take it away from the top and you take it away from the bottom. Guess what you're left with? There's only a handful that's going to make it through and the rest are going to fall at the wayside.
Damn, son.
My goodness.
So
Boy,
I'm not going to buy they didn't think of it. I think that's BS. They did think of it. They did think of a diabolical way to kind of do things. And I think when that happened, with that being said, Gavin Newsom stepped in and did the right thing, allow parents to do their thing. And my boy Joe, I think he just said, all right. He just said a shout out to that Joe White. He knows he's part of law enforcement. He knows exactly what I'm talking about as far as the cycle is concerned.
Okay.
So
okay.
I believe.
Well, where Joe at? Is he online somewhere? I don't see the comment popping through. Tell him to chop.
He hit me with a text and said, all right.
Oh,
so Joe White, shout out
man,
to you,
man, tell him. Listen, come on, man. Tell him we need these analytics to go up as we. You need to log in and subscribe.
But I again, man, I don't think that was subconsciously done. They were just doing it for that thing. I think there's more thought process too. When you're going to draw up a bill, right? Because when you're drawing up a bill, you're looking at the beginning ramifications and 3, 5, 10 years, 7 years, 10 years out, what the ramifications can be. We already know that would have been detrimental to our youth in urban areas.
Would this bill even have gotten? How far do you think a bill like this would have gotten in somewhere like Texas?
It wouldn't have even been drawn up in Texas. Texas takes pride in football and knows what it does so much to those communities. So if you're talking about maybe somewhere else, maybe more of a liberal state, let's say, I don't know, what's another liberal state like Colorado? Colorado's pretty liberal, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct? If they're not, forgive me, I'm just using you guys as an example. Somewhere probably like in those states, I still think you probably would have. got just as far as it did.
Like
I think,
like a Washington State. Let's do like a Washington State.
yeah. I still don't think it would. I think it would have got as far as it could until people put the pressure on and said, "Hold on, you can't make the decision for our child if we want our child to participate in something like that. You need to back off." I think at that point they think that bill's gone too far, and I 100% agree with it. It's kind of gone too far. I don't think it would have ever passed in any state. But the fact of the matter that, again, California taxpayers was wasted on somebody even drawing this up and getting
it so far
in front of somebody that said, "Oh, we'll entertain us and put it on the ballot." That pisses me off, man, because that's stupid. Like, draw the same thing up for girls volleyball and see what happens, or girls softball. You won't do it, right? Because they know.
Well, because they got folks like Brett Favre out there stealing from welfare with their own girl.
Yeah. But I'm saying, you're willing to take from.
I said it.
Take away again from more urban communities where the sport is very prevalent and they're playing it a lot more. But you're not willing to take lacrosse away from the middle class and rich areas because they have had injuries too. They have injuries just as well. You're willing to. Now, I would have felt differently if he put on the ballot a list of a whole bunch of sports and said, "Hey, all these need to be because they call injury to kids." Then I would say, you got the better welfare. He's talking about the better welfare for kids, period. He doesn't want kids to be injured, but that's not what it said. He was specifically targeting youth football.
Youth football, yeah. 12 and under is what it was. Y'all all remember Pop Warner, and again that age, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Again, I think there was some foulness. It just didn't smell right, and if that had gone through, there would have been mutiny across the state, even from folks like me who no longer have kids that are involved in it. But again, just the whole message that it sends, you're already taking out the arts, right? You've already taken out music appreciation. You've already taken out home economics, and you're already taking out all the other things that make people productive in society and community. Now you're going to take away sporting as well?
Remember in our communities, we used to have teen centers to go to. We used to have, there used to be YMCAs, a lot more YMCAs in a lot of these communities and things to do. With that being gone and those things being gone, and like I said, parents are counting on these type of organizations to help them, get to those kids. Can you imagine? Let's imagine this. I think parents don't imagine this. Kids from 8 to 12, and we have a lot of kids. Some kids that have, I don't want to say anger issues, but they have aggressive issues. They're really aggressive at that age. Football is the avenue where they can help take that out of them, and they have an outlet to push that out. They have an outlet to push the depression out that's going on at home. They have an outlet to push whatever's frustrating out while they're playing football. Imagine if there's no more outlet. What do those kids start to do? And that's in any community. What do those kids start to do?
Dirt. They start doing dirt. Right. They start breaking into the local targets. They start they just start doing dirt.
But I think the spike in bullying would have went up in high school and from elementary to middle school. I think bullying would have went up tremendously. Because again, you don't have that outlet, you don't have the things. And then football has that dangling carrot that you can't play, which gives kids that discipline. Right? You have a discipline when those happen. So I think the sport is very, very important, and I'm very passionate about it because I think that's what got me out of my situation. That's what got my friends that I played with in college out of their situation. Football was that one outlet. That was the one thing that got us over there, got us there, and got us educated, and got us through the whole nine. And I think we all follow kind of a baseline of what we learn from football in our life for the rest of our life. And for them to try to take that away from those youth, where that's the most influential age you can grab them at and teach them the right things to do, I think that was just a diabolical plan to get rid of it. And it just makes me upset that someone would even look at it, review it, and say, "Oh yeah, this needs to be able to go past the first stages, and this needs to go ahead and be on the ballot for a bill."
Maybe we should write you in for like local law. Maybe we need to get an Allen on the legislator. Well,
I don't know, man. I look at things from a realistic perspective. That's it. I don't know if they're ready for somebody like me.
They ain't ready for Martell Allen up there in the state capitol. I'll be your security.
I wouldn't be ready. I wouldn't be ready for somebody like me. Because I'm a person that I can admit when I'm wrong. I mean, I can have an opinion about it, but I'll admit when I'm 100% wrong. Those people don't admit when they're wrong. They just look past it and keep it going, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Well, at least this has turned out for the best.
Yes.
I'm gonna find some positive here. At least we have some additional attention on this conversation, and maybe there'll be some more folks paying attention to make sure that it stays safe, make sure that it gets
Well,
safer. Right.
the good thing
I'm
is
just hoping that something like that happens from this.
the good thing that's come out of this, like I talked to one of the representatives for Save the Youth Football, California football
Okay.
organization, and me and him are supposed to connect because I've been an advocate of bringing Division II football back for colleges for kids forever. And I said, why don't we try to ride this momentum that we got with Save the Youth to be able to have people understand how important it is to hopefully at least state schools bring it back, and how we can kind of figure out how these colleges can get the funding and all that to have it. Because the one thing I think people also don't understand, as these youth go through high school, after high school, some want to go on and play the college, but we don't have a lot of options in California. We just really don't.
Truth.
So we got 6 or 7 schools you can go play at in California that are at the Division I level. We have no Division II. I think we recently have one NAIA school, and we have the rest of the Division III. And people don't understand the breakdown. Division III are very expensive. Those schools are like $50,000 a year to go to school with no football scholarships at all. You can only get academic grant money possibly. Division II is a level where you could get scholarship money to go play football. And if we have it at the state level, we can even play non-scholarship because state schools are really not that expensive for residents of the state of California. So it's another avenue. NAI would be in the same situation. We have one that's Simpson, and it's religious-based way up in Northern California. And the rest of Division I's, the UCLA's, USC. So you have to be the elite of the elite to be able to play at those schools. And they also recruit on the national level. So they're taking kids from other states to come here and play, eliminating, again, more options for our kids to be able to have an opportunity. If we were able to bring back 6 or 7 Division II schools at 100 man a pop, that's 700 kids from California that would be able to, one, have the avenue, the mechanism that will attract them to go to school. 2, they'll be in school, so they hopefully stay and they can ride football all the way. 3, we created a whole generation of now young men that are educated that are going to the workforce and be competitive and not fall into any other things. They hopefully would be able to straighten out from that point on. So I think
again,
I'm working with them to hopefully get something going with them.
I love it, man. I love it. Again, more positive than negative, more pros than cons to this whole thing. Good work, Gavin Newsom. Good work.
Yeah. We can say good for something.
Yeah, good work for sticking by these guns and getting this done. So let's just hope that there's no more negative. We don't want to have any more stories like this. We don't want to take volleyball. We don't want to pick soccer. We don't want to take anything away from anybody. I think
we need to be giving more to the youth instead of taking away. We should be giving more to the youth instead of taking away.
These things matter, and we need to keep this going. Couple more stories here. We're gonna wrap up. We got to talk about football from a professional perspective, and I lump college into the professional perspective because we got NIL and everybody's a millionaire now. But we had some coaching changes over the last week or so.
Yeah.
Nick Saban says I'm done. My goodness. Yeah. I saw some folks on Facebook, some friends, they got kids that go to Alabama, and they sent pictures, said the kids was out there crying. People are internalizing the fact that Saban is stepping down, and it's just an interesting thing. It's very interesting. I'm more interested in the Belichick release and who is now replacing Belichick in Boston. What do you think about that? Because Saban, 72 or something like that. 70, it was not happening. Okay,
let's start with Saban.
Okay,
Saban retired, greatest college coach probably ever. He'll go down definitely as the top 4 or 5 college coaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 college coaches ever to coach in the game. But let's be perfectly honest, the game is changed, different, completely different, and I think he knows the writing on the wall that the way the NIL is being played and the way it's structured right now, Alabama can't consistently stay competitive. They're not in a market that can sustain. They're just not. They can't compete with the Texas A&Ms. They can't compete with the LSUs. They can't compete with the USCs as far as the NIL money that's going to be coming into players. And right now, college is now you pay for the players that you want. You're buying them. It's just like anywhere else. You're able to pay for them. So the person with the fattest pockets are the ones able to get the better players. So the sustainability of Alabama being at that high and being able to play at that high level, I think he sees it's going to start to diminish.
Okay.
So I think he's smart. Like, you know what? I'm old. I've been in the game enough for long enough. It's time for me to step back. I do believe we'll see Nick Saban at an analyst standpoint, or definitely giving insight on college, and I think he'll be echoing the same thing. He doesn't agree with the way the NIL thing is going. He doesn't agree with the way that it's being paid out and the way things are happening, because it's detrimental to the college sport, the college game, at least as we used to know it. Not saying as it is good, but as we used to know it, it's detrimental. And Alabama's market can't sustain it. That's number one. So he bowed out gracefully. Hey, I made it to here. This is where I'm going to go. It's time for me to get out of the game and let somebody else take over, and do that. Rightfully so. Let's switch over now to Belichick.
So, okay. Before you go to that, because I want to ask you about this. So, were you surprised at how fast they backfilled his job, and the fact that now the old coach from Washington is now in Tuscaloosa? That was a fast move, man. Come on.
No, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
I think those discussions have been going on as far as Belichick probably leaving. And I'm sure they had an idea who they wanted to go get right after. Remember, at this point, it's all about money, throwing the money around. So, if I'm like, hey, Belichick, Saban's going to leave. We know that he's going to leave. He's already had these discussions with us as an AD. So we're just going to keep it under wraps until he decides he wants to announce it. From that point on, who do we got on line? Oh, we like what Washington's doing. We like the way he brought in his recruits and the things he was doing. We want to go get him, and we're going to overbid whatever Washington's got on the table on him. We're going to overbid it, and we'll buy whatever contract he has left over on whatever to get him over here, because that's the guy we think that probably I'm sure Nick Saban has some consultants say, hey, he's a good guy. He looks like he's a good coach. He's a guy that's on the rise. He's a guy that you might want to bring in here because he's young. He relates to the recruits now. He can do whatever he needs to do. Look what he's done to Washington. We need to bring that kind of stuff over here to Alabama. So I think we see it on the surface like, hey, it's fast. It's already been pre-planned in the background for me.
That was 2 hours after the game. They seemed like they already had the jet fueled up and waiting for him to come to Tuscaloosa.
That brother was already packing. Hey, he was already packing.
he was packed at the game. He was already packed at the game.
We moving to Tuscaloosa. So,
but I think, win or lose, we moving, baby. Hey.
Yeah. I think even beyond that, though, the crazy part is like the other changes that kind of trickle from that, right? So you got the Washington coach went to Alabama. Mm-hmm. The Arizona coach went to Washington. The San Jose State coaches went to Arizona. So we got this whole thing. And I want to give a shout out to Coach Alonzo Carter. I hope he gets a job at San Jose State. I think that brother really deserves it. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know who Alonzo Carter is, he used to be a former background dancer for MC Hammer. Worked his way up the coaching ranks from high school to junior college to now San Jose State. He's the assistant head coach right now. Hopefully gets an opportunity to become the head coach there. Really good, positive brother, so I wish him the best of luck. But it's crazy how these coaching carousels are the dynamic has kind of shifted and changed to where these guys going. But you got to also understand there's big money involved.
Yeah.
Coach from San Jose State was making, I'm not quite sure if he was making $1 or $2 million, but now he's like, I think making $4 million a year.
Just like that.
The shift, the power shift is kind of one. Don't quote me, I'm not sure. Is he the $4 million a year, or he's definitely making a lot more he was making at San Jose State. So the power shifted is there. So you got to think the Arizona State, they went to Washington. He's making more money in Washington. The Washington coach that went from there to Alabama is making a lot more money.
A whole new bracket in Alabama. Yeah.
The game has changed. The game has changed, and it's about how much they can throw that money around. So, but I wish Nick Saban the best. But I hope to hear him comment more on how he feels about college football now, like the current state that it's in.
Yeah.
What's his opinion of it, and how he feels about it, and where does he think he's going to go? Because I think nowadays in college football, you need someone, that personality that has a little bit of D on it to relate to these kids.
That's a good point. Yeah, and Coach Saban said, listen, he still had the fight in him, but it was just a grind, right? Going through this season was a grind for him, and if he couldn't give it the old Saban attitude and that fire that he had, then it was time to go. And then he said a handful of times in public, the whole NIL landscape, that's just different for him, and he does not like that. So,
and you got to understand, it's harder and harder for Nick Saban to relate to the kids that are coming in nowadays.
There you go.
I mean, he's again, like you said, 72 years old. How hip can a 72-year-old be to an 18-year-old? Right? Or he's going to go into these urban neighborhoods or these areas. I shouldn't say urban all the time, but he's going into these areas, and he's 72-year-old. He's going to sit down with mama who's mama who's fairly young, and he wants her son. And you have to be able as a coach to be able to relate to that person and be able to, make them feel comfortable. I think there's a big disconnect at that point, right? Because of the age gap, there's a really big disconnect. So I think the recruiting aspect, the Nick Saban name doesn't ring out like it did 10 years ago if you were a recruit. Whose name rings out? The Harbaughs ring out. The Deion's names ring out. Those names, when they come into your house to visit, you're like, we hit. Saban's name in the last couple of years, it just doesn't, because he has such a tremendous age gap amongst people. So, but man, I don't feel bad. He ride off to the sunset. That
listen, I saw him pulling off in his stretch Mercedes. He doing okay. Listen,
he gonna be all right. He gonna be all right on the golf course. He good.
Coach,
he good to go.
The cupboards are full. He all right.
Yeah.
All right. So talk to us a little bit about these Patriots and how Boston, New England is gonna accept Jerod Mayo as.
I think they're gonna accept Mayo because he's been there for a while. Mayo's been there for a minute. I'm glad they're sticking to their guns and they're promoting within, right?
Yeah.
They keep the tradition of promoting within. I thought Mike Vrabel was going to get the job because he was the head coach at what's that man? He played at the Patriots.
Right.
But they decided to go internalize, which is fine, which I believe. Mayo, again, younger, relates to the players. Belichick's older, and I think his ideology still exists. And I think he's a good judge of talent, but again, he was stagnant, and he needs to be somewhere where I think he wants to be in control. And I think the Kraft family was like, you can't be in control of everything because we're suffering. We're suffering you being the GM, and we're suffering you being the head coach. The players that you're evaluating bringing here aren't the players that are making a dynamic change in our organization. So I think with those things being said, I think it's just time to kind of cut ways. And come on, man, every dynasty comes to an end, right? We've seen it with now the Patriots. Unfortunately, we've seen it with the Golden State Warriors in basketball. Everything has to be dismantled and rebuilt again. And I think this is where the Kraft family's like, we got to start our rebuilding. And we'll start with O.J. Mayo, letting him become the head coach, giving him his first opportunity to be a head coach and see what he can do. I think that the Kraft family seems like they're just a cool family when it comes to that organization. They really keep it tight niche. And they supported Belichick all these years. So
that is true. That is true. But Kraft did say, look, I watched the press release and I watched that briefing. Kraft was like, no, we weren't winning, and my family owns this property, this asset, these Patriots. We need to start winning. And Belichick, it's time for you to go. It was all business, right? You can still come over for dinner tonight, but listen, this is all business right now.
Yeah, so. and rightfully so. I think Belichick saw the writing on the wall as well, right? I mean, we've been talking about him being fired as a coach ever since Brady left, right?
Yeah.
They said it was all Brady that running for him, and I don't believe that. I think it's a combination of things, but I do believe wherever Belichick lands, you're gonna see Josh McDaniels come back and be the OC. Which they were a winning combination when Josh McDaniels was the OC and Belichick was the head coach. The last 3 years of Belichick trying to be having input on the offense and trying to do the defense and trying to be the GM and evaluate talent.
Didn't work.
I think he wore himself out and it just didn't work. And I believe, like everybody else, the game starts to pass you by, right? Everybody's game has changed except for the Patriots. He tried to get a quarterback that mimics Brady, that tall, slender, just stays in the pocket with no mobility. Well, every team that has a mobile quarterback is being successful with the Mahomes, the Jacksons, and everybody else. Even Brock Purdy's mobile. You got to change with the times, and I think Belichick was kind of just stuck in his ways. But hopefully, wherever he goes next, I think he's going to end up in Atlanta. When he goes next, I think Josh McDaniels is going to be soon to follow him as an OC, and I think he'll get back to his winning ways because I think he's one of the best to ever do it as far as a head coach.
I agree. I agree. I thought it was quite interesting that. Yeah, right. When tides change, the tea starts spilling, and what I mean by that is a lot of old players were saying, we really didn't play for Belichick, we played for Tom, right? Because we knew Tom was the GOAT, and Bill was just so brash and mean, OG coach and all that, but he didn't have that relationship. Like I think someone Jerod Mayo is going to have. Someone like I forgot the coach, like back to the college level over in Alabama, and just some of these new coaches, this next generation, they got their resume, they're winning. I think this is a good move for both sides. I hope that he is. I hope that he's accepted in that Boston, New England area.
I think he will be. He's played there for so many years and he's coached there.
But now,
I think he knows the law of the
he's
land.
got the keys to the. Now he's got the keys to the car, right? He was just getting in the passenger seat. Now he's got the keys to this car, to these New England Patriots and Gillette Stadium and all that. This is his team.
Yep.
Don't come out there and start losing again.
But I think the difference is he's going to have a different GM to help call the shots to build the team that he wants to build. Ideology. It won't be Belichick making the final call, which Belichick, from what I understand, was making the final calls on who they're going to draft or who they're going to trade for or whatnot. I think now the new day and the new age with Mayo is now he's going to have to be able to do his homework and say, okay, where our weaknesses are, what do we need to get in order to make this team better, and how much money do we have under the free agency cap to go grab some guys? Obviously, they're going to point the quarterback first. Quarterback's going to be the first thing they're going to look at. So, did they get acquired that in the trade, or did they go the draft route, or kind of go whatever? And then also, I believe with Mayo, I don't think expectations are going to be so high. Like with Belichick, we expected them to make the playoffs every year, right? That was Belichick's going to make it to the playoffs, and then New England's going to do something there. I think Mayo is going to be a solidly gradual. Hey, let's get to 500. After that, let's make a few more moves and then
give some time.
Get to the playoffs to do your thing. So I think he's gonna be all right. Yeah,
I deal with that. Okay, I can deal with that. In the trade, and I see you, man, coming in all the way from Ireland. My goodness, I think it's tomorrow over there. I think it's already Friday. Appreciate you for jumping in, man, and chiming in with us. Well, let's stick with football before we close, because we are at that divisional round of playoffs. My Steelers have already packed up and gone home. Coach Tomlin didn't want to talk to nobody at the press conference. He just walked. Reporter was like, she couldn't. She got out like 3 words. Hey, Coach, you got about 1 year. Boom. He gave her that. He gave her the look and just walked out. So Coach Tomlin is. Man, if y'all haven't seen that interview with Coach Tomlin, man, shouts out to Coach Tomlin, man. He's a bad man. So, Saturday and Sunday, man, divisional playoffs. Who you got? I'm gonna put it on the screen. Talk to me. Who you got? Let's start with the surprising to me. Let's start with Houston. I did not think Houston was going to still be playing. Them versus Baltimore. Who you got? Make the right choice, man. I'm about to say, boy, you better make the right choice.
Baltimore. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hey,
CJ Stroud is doing what he needs to do, but come on.
I'm gonna say this though.
Yeah.
Houston's so young. They're so young, coaching wise, all the way down.
I do love Coach. Oh man, I do love Coach.
They're not even. I don't want to say they're too dumb. They don't even think losing. Like that's not even in that part of them being non-successful is not even in their mind. So I do believe. They're going to give a real good fight. I just don't think they faced anybody as dynamic as Jackson, the quarterback.
Yeah, that's true. That's at this level.
So that's going to be the difference maker. Now, if they can contain him somehow, then Houston got a really good fighting chance. I don't think they face anybody like him. I think that dude has been playing at a super. I mean, he's playing at MVP level. And if he's not the MVP, it's only the other person could be McCaffrey. But if he should be MVP by far. And then I think he's going to be so dynamic. I think Baltimore wins in Baltimore. I think it's going to be just a little bit too much for the young Houston guys. But they don't have nothing to hold their head. They ball.
Oh, no, yeah. Again, who would have thought that they would make it this far with young cat CJ Stroud? But I love Coach out there. So talk to me about these Packers and these 49ers. Make the right choice.
Woo!
Make the right.
Man,
I'm not going to say that because this is a good matchup. This is a good matchup.
I love the underdog, but they going into Santa Clara, bro. It's going to be 49ers all day. With them, man, I'm telling you, with that defense is healthy. With Purdy, all Purdy has to do is get the ball into the guys' hands. Debo,
all of
Christian
them.
McCaffrey,
Ayuk, Debo,
and things are going to play. I want to say Ayuk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ayuk.
They're going. I mean, I think. Their Cinderella run is gonna stop. And I like Love. I think Love is a bad boy. Everybody counted him out And now he's showing that how great he is and what he can do. But I think it ends when he comes to the 49ers. I think the 49ers is on a collision course to beat Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
they
I'm
playing
calling
it.
it right
They
now.
just playing at a whole nother level. At a whole
Yeah.
nother level. Hey, Victor. Good night, man. Appreciate you for jumping in with us, brother. I do like what Jordan is doing. Jordan Love is doing with them Packers taking over the reins from some legendary QB1s. Right, he's doing this thing. But you're right, man. You got Debo, you got IU, you got McCaffrey, who, as you alluded to just now, could actually get MVP.
Yeah. It's gonna
Running
be one of
back
them.
could get the MVP, and you got Mr. Irrelevant out there just throwing bombs out there all over the place and doing this thing. So Brock Purdy is leading that team in the right way. Yeah, San Francisco, come on.
Yeah.
So that's Saturday, right? Well, we come back and we recoup after those two games. And then Sunday, you got your boy Baker Mayfield. Who's that? That's probably Baker Mayfield calling you right now. That's probably somebody from Fox Sports trying to. Tampa Bay against Detroit. Who you got? Shouts out to Eminem out there, riling
Detroit.
up the Lions.
Hey, I'm rolling with 8 Mile, man. Detroit, man.
I thought they lost that last game,
Yes.
so I turned it off. I said, because I wanted Detroit to win, and I said, oh man, they lost. But sure enough.
Yeah. They came back. I'm a big golf fan. I was a golf fan when he was in LA. I thought he got done dirty for Stratford. I really did. I thought he got done dirty. I'm glad to see him on his revenge tour. Right? He's on his revenge tour. He beat the Rams, which they shouldn't have won though. The head coach made a bad call.
Exactly.
But they should have. They got out of that. He escaped that. Now I think Jerod Goff is on the next step. And now, even though Baker Mayfield and them played really, really good the last game, I think that Detroit defense is a little bit too strong, a little bit too solid. I don't think they're gonna let them be able to move the ball as good as they did, like they blew out what's the name. But I'm going with Detroit in Detroit, and the city of Detroit deserves a winner with the Lions, man, because I ain't won in a long time. So I'm banking on them. I got them.
Okay. And I'll recall back to again this past week another kind of not very smart reporter question to Coach. Coach asked, you preparing your team for playing in Detroit? Coach say, hey, we ain't got to worry about the weather. They play in the dome. So
yeah. We don't care.
Okay. Reporter said, y'all ready for the elements? Y'all ready for the weather? Hey, they play inside. We cool. We coming from Florida.
Then we got to worry about the ride from the airport, from the hotel to the stadium. That's it. That's all we got to worry about.
I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. Okay, so I'm gonna say Tampa.
Kansas City, Buffalo?
No,
you gonna take Tampa?
I'm gonna take Tampa Bay because surprising enough, Baker was just lighting them up, man. He was
balling out. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, he was killing.
It was like Madden, right? He was throwing stuff around like Madden. Okay, Kansas City and Buffalo. In Buffalo, Bills Mafia is out there shoveling snow, getting $20 an hour plus food. I think they even raised the price that they were paying them. But what are your thoughts about these Chiefs and these Bills? Chiefs and Bills.
Man, this the one game. This the one game. If I was betting, I'll be like, man, I don't know. It's a toss up between these two. But I'm gonna stick with my guns. I think this the year that Josh Allen dethrones Mahomes and Buffalo wins in Buffalo. I think they can do it. I think they're healthier right now than Kansas City is. But you can't count on Mahomes, man. That dude he does so much magic. But I think they lost to Kansas City. Kansas City beat them already earlier this year, early in the season. They beat them in the playoffs last year. I think now it's like, hey man, third time's a charm. I'm gonna go with Buffalo Bills, see if they can go ahead and get this W and get it out the way. But Josh Allen got to show up, man. I think it all depends on him. If he shows up and balls out, they're gonna be fine. But if he doesn't, don't think Kansas City can't go in there and get it and still a win. That's true. But I'm gonna go Buffalo. I'm gonna go Buffalo.
Yeah, if Josh Allen can go in there and run the ball like he did last game and get some running touchdowns and throw it all around to Diggs and all, I'm gonna go with the Taylor Swift effect.
Woo!
That's right. I'm you know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes. I don't like him because he's so good, and I don't like that piece. But the man can still play even when his helmet cracks.
Yes.
Okay, that he gained some extra cool points with me on that. Still out there balling when his helmet cracked. So I'm gonna go with them Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Taylor Swift effect. We'll see how
Okay.
that all works out. Be
All
a
right.
gentleman's bet for us when we go to Las Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That
I'm gonna
dinner.
make
We'll get that dinner.
Yeah,
We'll
there's
find
gonna be
that dinner.
something. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we gonna eat well because I'm gonna win this gentleman's bet. And we not going to Denny's. We going someplace.
No. I got a soul food spot for us to go to called Grits.
Okay.
We're gonna go to Grits. Grits is gonna be the spot we go to.
Like that. Okay, because I got a couple of events already on the calendar for us as well. So we got some networking events to go to as well while we there. Folks, if you haven't subscribed to Team No Sleep, you need to subscribe because Montel and I are going to be live streaming from California as we drive to Vegas, and we are going to be covering the Athletes in Action breakfast. And I'm going to run out on the field when Usher is singing. So if you're watching the game and you see somebody run out on the field and start spinning on their head on the 50-yard line, that's me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the background dapping everybody up.
You gonna be? I'm gonna tell you where the bail money is because Las Vegas police don't play, and I got a feeling I'm gonna end up becoming a statistic. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I got you, brother man. Don't worry about it. I got the credit card on deck. We good.
We gonna need it.
We'll be good. We good.
Take us home, brother. Take us home.
All right. Like we always say, man, for 2024, please get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations. That's the way that we learn from each other. And again, check on your loved ones.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, as we can see from our earlier stories, and say your prayers. And always check on family. Family first.
All day, every day. We out.